Jean Tierney was the embodiment of Hollywood beauty, delicate, untouchable, flawless. Yet in 1943, a single obsessive fan bypassed security at the Hollywood canteen, determined to meet her idol at any cost. That brief encounter would devastate Jean's daughter, unravel her own sanity, and leave scars that lasted a lifetime. The most haunting part, Jean wouldn't know the truth for years. Born Jean Eliza Tierney in 1920 to a wealthy Connecticut family, she seemed destined for a life of elegance and privilege. Her mother was a socialite, her father a successful businessman, and the world of society awaited her. But when Broadway scouts discovered the striking 17-year-old, Jean chose the bright lights of stardom over the quiet predictability of society life. By 1940, she was signed with 20th Century Fox, where Darryl F. Zanuck molded her into one of the screen's great beauties, those unforgettable eyes, that hauntingly soft voice. She married designer Oleg Cassini in 1941, and by 1943 she was expecting their first child while working at the height of her career. From the outside, everything looked perfect, but in Hollywood, perfection is fleeting. While pregnant, Jean volunteered at the Hollywood canteen, serving coffee and snacks to servicemen despite medical advice to rest. Security was meant to keep fans away from vulnerable stars, but one young woman slipped past. Feverish and sweaty, yet euphoric, she told Jean, "I broke quarantine to see you." She explained she had sneaked out of her military base while infected with German measles, desperate to meet her idol. Jean offered a polite smile, moved aside uneasy, but the damage was already done. Weeks later, Jean gave birth to her daughter, Daria. Almost immediately, it was clear something was terribly wrong. The baby was deaf, partially blind, and severely intellectually disabled. Doctors confirmed the heartbreaking diagnosis, rubella syndrome, caused by exposure to German measles during early pregnancy. Jean's seemingly perfect world crumbled. She blamed herself, overwhelmed by guilt. Her marriage to Cassini faltered under the weight of the tragedy. Daria required constant, specialized care that Jean could not provide at home. The press dubbed it a tragic Hollywood story, yet they understood only a fraction of the horror. 2 years later, at a tennis party, Jean was confronted by the woman herself. With a bright, almost innocent smile, the fan said, "Remember me? I'm the one who came to see you at the canteen when I had German measles. I broke quarantine because I just had to meet you." The words hit like a dagger. Jean froze, paralyzed. This thoughtless fan had destroyed her daughter's life, dooming Daria to lifelong suffering, and now bragged about it. Jean did not lash out. She did not yell. She simply walked away, but something inside her broke that day. The depression that had been quietly building since Daria's birth now consumed her entirely. She could not work, could barely function. By 1953, Jean had attempted suicide and endured multiple psychiatric hospitalizations, electroshock therapy, insulin shock treatment, 27 hospital stays over 7 years. Hollywood's most beautiful woman had become a shadow of herself. Slowly, Jean clawed her way back, returning to films in the 1960s. She never named the fan publicly, choosing dignity over revenge. In her 1979 autobiography, she reflected that the encounter had contributed greatly to my crack-up. Jean passed away in 1991, having survived the tragedy by nearly 5 decades, but Daria, the daughter she loved so fiercely, never truly knew her mother's face. The fan never apologized, perhaps never grasping the devastation she caused. Jean Tierney's story endures as one of Hollywood's most heartbreaking reminders that the greatest dangers sometimes come not from fame itself, but from those who idolize it.